See the dog and butterfly up in the air, you like to fly. The dog and butterfly.
Hi there, welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Jalailah Starr. Today the topic is a new way of making change or affecting change. And this is something that seems to be occurring as we move further into this new reality. It's like we're still creating the foundation, all the systems. You got to have a financial system. You have to have, new ways of getting things done in a new reality that are based on cooperation and working together rather than on competition and fighting each other and destroying each other. So today I wanted to give people an example of what's something I'm seeing happening, and it's really it's wonderful. And that is that we're learning how to use the internet, and in particular social media, to affect change, especially within, anytime we see something going wrong, anytime we see injustice occurring, doing it the old way, picking up weapons, shooting each other, that war, not the answer. In the new reality, we have to learn how to make things happen, how to right the wrongs without resulting to war. Because higher dimensional races, they will tell you that. They say, we don't use weapons that way. We've learned how to work together when we have a conflict. We've learned how to resolve it without resulting to weapons and war. So what I want to do is share quickly a little story that I've been following. Many of you know that I really love animals, and I'm very much into animal rescue. And there's an organization called Dogs Deserve Better. And what they do is they help get dogs off of a life being lived on a chain or in a pen. Because dogs are social animals. They don't, they need to be with a pack, not stuck outside in somebody's backyard, living on a chain with absolutely hardly any human contact. And some of these are such horrible, stories of abuse. Well, last December, they got involved with what they call an animal sanctuary. An animal sanctuary is a place where dogs are sent by rescue groups, in particular, where they can live out their lives. These are dogs that are usually deemed unadoptable for some reason. Maybe they've been mismanaged by humans, obviously, and maybe they bit somebody or whatever. Instead of putting them down, they send them to a sanctuary. Well, there is one in Forks, Washington. It's called the Olympic Animal Sanctuary, run by a man named Steve Markwell. Anyway, one of the dogs that Dogs Deserve Better, I think that was the organization, sent up there was a dog named Sunny. And so they got wind. I don't remember exactly how they found out that something was not right at Olympic Animal Sanctuary. So they contacted Mr. Markwell to get the dog back. Well, they didn't get any real response. So then things started to come out about this sanctuary, and they became very suspicious. So they gathered the funds, and this one lady plus another lady from another organization traveled from, I think, Virginia to Washington State, and to get Sunny and go inside the sanctuary to see if these claims were true. And what they found was that these dogs, instead of living in a sanctuary that took care of them, were living in absolute hell. I mean, it was awful. They were living in crates stacked one on top of the other, and feces-soaked, urine-soaked straw. Many of them had been put in a dark room where they were not fed regularly, in an old warehouse building that did not have any heating, any cooling. And some of these dogs were kept in the dark for months and years on end with no contact and very little food and water. So you can imagine in the summer, this is locked. They're locked in a warehouse. The heat, the smell. Oh, it's horrific. Covered in fleas, covered in feces. Some of them, the dogs actually went mad. So it's just, wow. When the stories came out, I mean, the people who lived near this sanctuary said they couldn't go out and barbecue on their back porch because the smell was so overpowering it would make you vomit. And even in the wintertime, you could smell it. I mean, this place was just horrific. And they had been complaining to Olympia, to the city of Forks, Washington, for years, and nothing was done. So anyway, these two ladies go up there, and there's pictures of them. They posted. They used Facebook, and they posted everybody that they were going to go up there. And so that you would see, they would, post pictures of themselves standing there with signs, picketing in front of this place, trying to get this guy to let them in and just retrieve their dog. Well, they got arrested for picketing. Oh my God. Forks, Washington was not known as the most advanced as far as their authorities, and the authorities were kind of irritated at them for being there and raising a ruckus. So anyway, they went back to Facebook, and sure enough, a lady from New York, a lawyer who was an animal rights lawyer, agreed to take their case. She went and she got them out of jail. And so they went back to Facebook, asked for help in paying for, legal expenses, also, being up there, hotel bills, gas, whatever they needed. And people stepped up and they helped. And then they started posting and sharing about this story, and the media got wind of it. Well, long story short, the 124 dogs of Olympic Sanctuary were released. The man who, Mr. Markwell, ended up building cages unbeknownst to anybody else, moving the dogs at night, put them in a semi-truck, and after working with a organization called Guardians of Rescue down on the Nevada-Arizona border, he drove this semi, I think it was like 1,500 miles, to this sanctuary and released the dogs into the care of the people who run that sanctuary. So today, I think all but a few of the dogs have been adopted out to rescue organizations. Many of them are in foster homes. Some of them are different animal trainers have stepped up to help rehabilitate most the ones that were really bad cases. And I think there's only maybe 3 out of all those dogs that were so damaged by their experiences that they will probably be put down. But the rest, like 120 dogs, were saved from a life of absolute torture and hell. And all because of social media. These people went to Facebook. They went to Twitter. They used the internet to affect change, and not a single gun was being used. So this is how we are learning to affect change. When we see something's wrong, we simply go to social media, organize, get people to post, and repost, and share, and get the word out. And then that alerts the media, because it will trend. It will start to trend on Facebook. It will show up, or it'll trend on Twitter. And before you know it, and of course the media is always looking for stories. So they look to what's trending on Twitter and Facebook and other places. And that's how we're affecting change now. So this is a new way of doing it. But here's some things. I was told many years ago by the Nibiruans that they don't use weapons the way that we do, like I said earlier. But I couldn't figure out how they could affect change without that. Now I begin to realize they had a form of an internet long before we did, and they had ways of sharing information and making their voices heard without resorting to violence. And so they're basically showing us how to do the same. And in this new reality, we will have to learn how to resolve our differences by doing this, how to stop abuse by doing this in a non-violent way. So this was just an excellent example of how we can marshal together, band together, and affect the change that we want. So just a thought for you, because we are making that new reality. The systems are coming into place. I'd love to tell you about the financial system, but there's things I cannot share yet. But it's just when we think it's going to happen, something gets thrown in there. But it is moving very, very close now. So just hang in there. And hope you have a good week. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, and hopefully your team is going to win, whoever that is. And stay warm. It is, about 16 degrees here in Kansas City. Not very warm. But it's still okay. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.